Welcome back to Okano's Kitchen. I'm Sarah Pierce. My show focuses on food that feeds the body and soul. I care deeply about my ingredients, their origin, and the season in which I cook. I love my farmers. The recipes that I share come from 3 generations of family cooks. And I know that in this world, many of us have food intolerances, so I like to try to substitute wherever I can in my recipes. The recipes are approachable, they're nourishing, and they're delicious. But be creative, make it your own, and have fun above all. All the recipes from this season will be in my new edition of my cookbook. Go to my website, okanoskitchen.com, and reserve a copy. And don't forget to order your samurai bread kit today. Today, we're going to start with another way to use your samurai bread mix. And we're gonna make these cheesy garlic bites with samurai bread. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're also going to make a roasted vegetable lasagna. In the late summer when you have so many vegetables, you don't even need meat really, so we're going to use peppers and tomatoes and squash, zucchini. And as a side, we're going to just have a roasted beet and melted goat cheese salad. And for dessert, a brownie pie. So let's get started. So the samurai bread has been rising for about 50 minutes and I added in a cup of sharp cheddar cheese, a little garlic powder. I didn't put the jalapenos in this time, but if you want it spicy, you can add some jalapeno. I'm gonna put a little water and this time actually a little olive oil on my hands because it's gonna be super sticky and I wanna make these just little balls. So I'm gonna do about 6 of those. Wetting my hands. As you can see, they can be different sizes. They don't have to be exact. That's why I love this mix because it's so forgiving. It's kind of a nice break from sourdough. I love making sourdough, don't get me wrong, but it's a little more fussy than this bread. So it's something fun to do with kids. If you're just a beginner baker, you can feel like a professional baker. You can, if you watch more of my shows, I'll keep showing you different ways to use the mix. So there we go. Now this you can put right into the oven, and I'm gonna put it in the oven for about 50 minutes. So part of this sauce, which is worth taking the time to do, is a roasted tomato and pepper sauce. So it's really quite simple. You're basically just peeling the peppers, quartering the tomatoes, and then roasting them with a little olive oil, some oregano, salt, and pepper. And you just roast those for maybe 30 minutes at about 400 degrees. So I'm gonna put those now in the Cuisinart, and then we're just gonna pulse that up, and it's gonna be a delicious sauce for the lasagna. One of the layers for our lasagna. Now, if you absolutely don't have time for that, you could buy some roasted red peppers and some roasted tomatoes and just, use a canned variety. But if you have time, especially in the summer when there's so many tomatoes and peppers, you just want to use up all those vegetables, then I would highly recommend this method. So we're going to put those all in the Cuisinart. Okay, well we've got this nice, basically blended tomato and peppers, which will be a great part of our building block. So we're gonna start with, I've actually shaved some zucchini, an onion, and sautéed some onion, celery, and added that to the zucchini with a little ricotta. Now there is a dairy-free ricotta, so that this can be made dairy and gluten-free also, but today I used a regular ricotta and regular cooked lasagna sheet. So we're going to start with that layer and spread that out on the bottom of your Pyrex dish. You can make kind of a thin layer because you might want to do another layer of the zucchini. We'll see how much we have left. And then a layer of your pasta sheets, which are already cooked. I like this brand. Then we're going to take a layer of this beautiful roasted red pepper and tomato sauce. This is a fun thing to do with kids, right? It's like building something. Easy to do, fun, very visual. Look at that beautiful color. Then what are we gonna do? Let's see, maybe we'll put a little bit of these pieces of mozzarella for the cheese factor. not too much, but I think I'll just do one layer of that cheese. And then we're gonna go another layer of the lasagna. Then I thought it'd be fun to have a little butternut squash that's already been spiraled out and sautéed, and add that to the next layer. So this is a really veggie focused lasagna. Great end of summer meal. Then I'm actually gonna add a little bit of this ricotta and zucchini mixture, but maybe this time I'll just add it in little clumps like that. It doesn't really matter. Use your imagination, have fun. I mean, why not have fun when you're in the kitchen? Especially if you have to be there every day. Okay, so now we take another layer of the lasagna. And I think what we'll do is end with the roasted red pepper sauce. And that's just, we have just about enough. It smells delicious. And maybe what I'm going to do also is add some of these fresh tomato slices on top. What else do we have here? Oh, we have some beautiful basil. I'm going to use the whole basil leaves, I think. Those are pretty. And since I have it, I'm going to actually sprinkle even a little bit more basil here. And a little bit of pine nuts. One more thing to finish this off, a little Parmesan on the top because it'll melt nicely before we cover it with foil and put it in the oven. You could freeze this at this stage and then eat it at a different time. So I'm gonna get a piece of foil and stick that in the oven for about 40 minutes at about 375. All right, and then we can make our sides and talk about dessert. As the lasagna is cooking, I thought I'd take a minute and talk to you about the dessert, which today happens to be gluten-free and dairy-free. I'm always liking to offer that as an option. You don't have to make it that way, but we made a chocolate brownie pudding. I mean, who doesn't like brownies? And this is kind of a brownie but gooey on the inside, and the reason why it's gooey, after you add all the chocolate and the eggs and the dairy-free butter if you need it, you basically bake it in another pan that will fit your brownie dish, and you bake it with water that comes up the sides of the pan, and then you stick it in the oven for about 60 minutes. And then you get what you get is this beautiful brownie that has a nice gooey on the inside, kind of like a lava cake. But you know, if you have more of a crowd, look at that brownie that's just soft on the inside. And then of course what we need is a big scoop of ice cream on top. Wow, and that'll melt together and be delicious. Oh yum, take a big sniff. Oh well, you can't do it on the TV. Anyway, the lasagna is ready. I can smell it. Oh, look at that. The rolls and the lasagna, they're ready at the same time. Oh my gosh, we're lucky. So, I hope we've got a hungry crew out there. We have our beautiful vegetable lasagna, summer vegetable lasagna, and our samurai bread cheese bites. Oh my gosh, are you getting excited? Can't you smell the cheese and the garlic? And then I made a simple arugula salad with beets, and I melted some goat cheese because why not, for the top. Of course they squash down a little bit, but that's fine. They make these little goat cheese coins. How fun. And I made a little vinaigrette with red wine vinegar and lots of shallots, a little honey. I'm gonna pour that on. Look at the red, I love the way the red onions dress it, and they add that little tang. And then we'll cut into this lasagna. Oh, how should we do it? This looks like it would feed 6 to 8 people. Another knife, I think I can do it. Look at that. So our lasagna, as you remember, has different layers with zucchini and butternut squash and the red pepper, tomato, roasted tomato sauce that we made. Make sure you get all the little nuggets, yummy nuggets. And we'll eat that with one of these hot samurai bread cheese bites. And our beautiful, of course we have to have a salad on the side, and don't forget we have the brownie pudding for dessert. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please join me again at Okano's Kitchen. Thank you for joining me in today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned a few new tips for your next cooking adventure. Please join me next time. Thank you.
Welcome to the Mountain Guides. They operate 5 mountain guiding companies in the American West. The Mountain Guides of Utah, the Mountain Guides of Red Rock, the Mountain Guides of Montana, the Mountain Guides of Colorado. Their flagship operation in Jackson Hole is based in Jackson and leading trips all over the high peaks of the Rocky Mountains. Join their custom mountain adventures led by experienced guides in the iconic destinations. For more information, log on to themountainguides.com.